All right, so you ordered a comma 3X from comma.ai, shows up in the mail. Now what? Hey everyone, I'm CPO and I'm going to help you get started with your new autonomous driving assistant. So one of the first things you'll find whenever you open up the box is this little user guide with a QR code where you can find the setup instructions online, but I'm going to go through all of that with you on the install in my 2024 Kia EV6 GT. So while the hardware install is obviously specific to my vehicle, most of the principles are going to apply to pretty much any vehicle. The install steps are going to be the same, and my methodology will probably apply to your vehicle as well. It's just the specific trim pieces might vary slightly, but I don't think by much. All right, so the comma 3X is custom hardware designed to live in your car. It has 3 HDR cameras, 2 of them to watch the road, one's a telephoto and one's a wide angle lens, and then it has 1 night vision camera to see inside the car for driver attention monitoring. And trust me, having a camera to make sure you're paying attention is way better than having to constantly touch the steering wheel, which is how most factory car systems judge driver attention. You get 2 windshield mounts with 3M adhesive tape. When you order the device, you need to select the specific car harness that is designed for your vehicle. In my case, it's the Hyundai P cable. It has a harness box that all of your cables plug into, and this will be tucked up underneath the rearview mirror where your factory ADAS system lives. You also get a 7-foot RJ45 cable that's going to allow you to connect to your OBD port using this adapter. Finally, you get a USB-C cable. They also throw in an alcohol wipe for windshield prep, 2 comma stickers, and a microfiber cloth. As you can see here, the 3X slides onto the windshield mount, and the top of the mount is flat. So I'll show you this in a few minutes, but you want to make sure that side is up when you mount it to the windshield. All right, so here's where we get into my install methodology, and this is going to be maybe unique to me. Maybe there's some ideas in here that might be useful or helpful for others, but this is how I do things. So I figure out kind of where I think I want to put the mount, and I put a strip of masking tape on the outside of the windshield. I put a small strip on the inside, and then from the inside, I find the center point of the window in the area where I think I want to mount it. I use a little black Sharpie marker to make a mark on the inside tape, and then I can go see through the other side, the top side, and find that mark. Once I've found that center mark, which in my opinion it's easier for me to find from the inside, I will basically make a straight line across that tape using some sort of a guide to establish straightness. And in this case, I'm using the top of a windshield and I'm just using a ruler, a straight edge, and then I'm making a straight line where I think I want to mount the mounting hardware. And then I'm just using a ruler to just make sure it looks straight. The windshield is curved, so you have to gauge on both sides of center. It's not just going to be like all the same distance from the top because of the curve of the windshield. Then what I want to do is go inside the car and double check that I have the right visibility of the product once it's installed. Now my tendency is to want to put things way up as high as I can and get them out of the middle of the field of view. But in this case, actually you need to have it a little bit lower than I thought. And you'll see where I put the tape versus where I end up mounting the mounting bracket is quite a bit lower actually. And the reason is you want to be able to see the entire display. So when you're sitting in the driver's seat and you're looking across at the windshield, you want to make sure that when the device is mounted, you can see the top edge. And you would think that it would be that trim piece underneath the rearview mirror that is going to be the blocker. So you want to be below that. But actually, in my car, the rearview mirror hangs down just a little bit more than that in my field of view. So I really had to make sure that I was below the rearview mirror so that I could see basically those top 2 corners there. So I went back to the outside tape and lowered my line for where I think I want to mount it. And yeah, just extended that center line down a little bit. So then I don't need that inside piece of tape anymore. That was just there to find like a center point. I decided I'm going to go basically with the bottom edge of this tape. Fortunately for me, I got the tape pretty darn straight when I stuck it on there the first time. So even though I have these lines as a straight edge guide for mounting the bracket, the tape is almost exactly straight as well. So that worked out to my benefit. So I put it down just a little bit lower than I was thinking I was going to, and I'm glad I did. And honestly, I could have gone down another 1/4 inch and been fine, but it's basically as high as you can get and still have good visibility of the display from the driver's seat. Now, the hardest part here is you have to wait. You have to wait for this adhesive to cure on your windshield. And this is the part that drives most people crazy. And as a matter of fact, I knew this was going to be a problem for me. So I installed the bracket on a day that I had no intention of actually installing the rest of the product. Like, so all the wiring and all that stuff, I saved for a couple of days later. The reason being is I didn't want to be tempted to get it all mounted and then go run with it, because the most important part of this, right, is getting that adhesive to fully cure on the windshield, because the Comma 3X is kind of a heavy device. And so when you look at how adhesives cure, it's time and heat based. The higher the temperature, the faster the cure time. So I think what they do at comma.ai, the company, they give you a 48-hour recommendation, because that's going to cover pretty much a broad variety of circumstances. I'm in Central Florida. I'm in the Tampa area. And so it was hot. Like, it was 85, 90 degrees on the day that I did this. So my cure time is going to be a lot faster than somebody who's, say, up in the Colorado mountains and it's 40 degrees outside, right? So you just have to keep that in mind. You can accelerate the curing process by using heat, applying heat gun or something like that. Or you can just take the safe route and just let it sit. If it's sunny and bright outside, go park it out in the sun. Let that heat really start working on that adhesive curing process. And yeah, just don't be tempted to immediately install and start operating it, because I think that's where people have problems, right? The weight of the device will definitely come into play there. So after what seems to be an eternity later, I'm going to start working on the rest of the install. So I do have this camera that I have to move out of the way, my existing dash cam. I'm not going to deal with that in the video. But now let's get into how to deal with this ADAS trim piece on the rearview mirror. This first little cover above the rearview mirror just easily pops out from the top, just like that. And then the way you want to remove this particular trim piece is to push down, like slide it from the top to the bottom of the windshield, and it will come off. That is not how you reinstall it, by the way. Trust me, wait till we get to the reinstallation, because it's a little bit different. All right, after that, you can unplug your ADAS system and plug in the new harness. In my case, again, is the Hyundai P harness. And then there's a double stick-sided tape here that you can use to stick it into wherever it makes sense. It makes sense for me right here. This puts the cable going up into the headliner, which is where I want it, so they'll tuck out of the way. And it does allow everything to be tucked in nicely so that the cover goes back on okay. So now I'm plugging in the RJ45 OBDII cable that I'm going to run over to the driver's side of the car. I'll show you that here in a second. And then also plugging in the USB-C cable that's going to go straight down to the device itself. I decided to have that routed out at the bottom of that first little clip that we removed, and it's going to come out right where the rear view mirror stem goes in and mounts to the windshield. So I'm just going to lay it right there for now. Now, on the driver's side, I pulled the door trim off, and that'll allow me to pop off this A-pillar trim piece. This is an airbag cover, so it's tethered. You can't really pull it all the way off without doing some more work, but you don't really need to. The key thing I want to point out here is you need to make sure that you don't run wires in front of that airbag. You can see here I have 2 camera wires already there, and now I'm running this RJ45 for the Comma 3X. I'm pushing it behind the airbag. The last thing you want is to have an emergency that requires an airbag, and you've got all these cables blocking the deployment of that safety device. So run it behind the airbag. And then I'm using a little plastic trim tool to make sure that the wires are tucked up in the corner of the headliner. And then the door molding, that trim piece, the rubber, will help hold all of those wires as it runs down the A-pillar. And then down below where the bottom of the dash is, there's a little slot that allows me to shoot that Cat5 cable over to get underneath where the OBDII port is. So you can see just right there to the left of where I'm working now, there's that little slot where that cable was able to slip through, right there. And that allows me to tuck it back up, and I just run it up. This is the fuse box area, and pull that cable up just to have a place to put the extra cable. And then I can plug in the adapter here for the OBDII port. And yeah, just plug it in. And that should be all nice and out of the way. You should never even know it's there once you put it back together. Then the fuse box cover goes back on, and boom, Bob's your uncle. That's the hardware install. Super easy. All right, back to this trim piece. It's hooked at the top, and it's got different types of clips on the bottom. This is why you can't just slide it back into place. So what you want to do is get the top part hooked in. Those hooks will slide up and lock into place. Once you do that, push the bottom and it will clip into place. So slide the top into place, push the bottom up towards the windshield to clip it into place. Trust me, if you try and slide the whole thing up, you're going to break those clips off. All right, now I can go ahead and plug in the comma device and hang it on the windshield because it is properly cured and I'm not in any danger of it falling off. And then the last thing is just to put this little plastic cover back on, and that just clips into place like you would expect. All right, so now our first boot up of the comma. Now I have already booted this up and restored factory settings and all of that. So this should be pretty close to what you'll see, but it may vary slightly. But you're going to first have to connect to Wi-Fi. I'm using the Wi-Fi in my car. I have a Wi-Fi hotspot that is part of my dash cam system. So I'm just using that. If you have home Wi-Fi, you can use that or some other hotspot to use. And this will also take a SIM card, and you can get a plan with comma.ai, and you will have internet connectivity through your SIM. When you get here, you may see that you have an option for dash cam software or install custom software. You want to go to custom software. Nobody buys this as a dash cam. Trust me on that. All right. The URL you want is openpilot.comma.ai. And I'm going to speed this part up because nobody wants to watch an install progress bar in real time. But it takes a little bit to install. And then depending on how current your firmware is in the hardware when you get it, you may have to update your operating system. So just go through and do that. That actually took quite a while. It took a few minutes. So just be prepared for that. I sped this up quite a bit, actually, like 2,000%. Then it will reboot and register your device. Now we need to accept the terms and conditions. Make sure you read all that legal mumbo jumbo fine print like I just did. And then we're going to take a quick training course. And I'm just going to go through this really quickly. You should take a moment, read this, make sure you understand it. It gives you a basic rundown of how to operate OpenPilot, what it can do, what it can't do, and a little bit about distracted driving monitoring. You can choose to send your video. I chose not to. You can change that at any time. You don't have to make a decision right then and there. Just pick one. And then, how to engage, how to disengage. Again, what it can do, what it can't do. right? It's not a self-driving car now. It's driver's assistance. You still have to pay attention and be in full control of the car. Now, once you've installed it, the first thing you're going to be asked to do is calibrate. The way you calibrate is to drive about a mile-ish or so, give or take, at above 15 miles an hour. I don't know exactly how long it takes or what it's looking for, but it was about a mile before mine calibrated. Then you can go in and see and start playing around with all the settings that you want and the toggles and really get a feel for how to use the device. Now, the next thing we want to do is get connected to Comma Connect, which I think is super valuable. You're going to set up on your phone, go to connect.comma.ai. You can sign in with Google, Apple, or GitHub, and then you can connect it to your camera. So after I scan the barcode, then I will pair with my device, and now I have access to Comma Prime features. Now, I already used up my trial, so I'm going to go ahead and purchase the $10 a month Comma Prime service, which is basically because I have my own Wi-Fi hotspot. And then what that allows you to do is get access to video footage and all kinds of other stuff. But more importantly, I like to use it for navigation. I can set a destination on my phone and send it directly over to the Comma 3X. I'll show you that here in a second. But I need to go through a couple of steps here. Here you go. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to put in Tampa as a destination, hit destination set, and it will just send that information to the Comma 3X, which is super useful when we start getting into end-to-end driving, where it starts making decisions based on it knows your route, right? It will take exits off the freeway for you because it knows you're going to exit. So cool stuff there. So now I showed you how to install the basic software, but I don't actually use the basic software. I use SunnyPilot. And this is where things get into personal preference, but SunnyPilot seems to be a better fit for the Hyundai, Kia, Genesis line of vehicles. Most people that drive those vehicles prefer SunnyPilot. And having gone back and forth, I definitely can say I do. Plus, SunnyPilot gives me a lot of other additional options that I find of value. So basically what you're going to do is just uninstall OpenPilot and then follow the exact same process we just did to install SunnyPilot. The URL is release-c3.sunnypilot.ai. And you're going to go through all the same stuff. In addition to, it's going to connect to the SunnyPilot network, which would be SunnyLink. And you can see here there are a lot of different options, way more options, but I've got it kind of figured out what I like in this. And so I'm not going to show you all of those. You're going to have to figure out what you like on your own. But in the end, we end up with driving assistance, and this is way more chill and way better, way more effective than whatever came factory with the car. And I almost got to the point now where I can't drive without it. Like it's strange to actually have to like steer a car normally. Anyway, guys, that's it. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. And yeah, maybe more to come on this. Depends on if you guys like it or not. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.